Alright, it says I'm streaming. Is it saying the correct? No, it's not saying the correct title. Update, please. Otherwise, I have to manually go in there and update them. Does it not like me clicking update? Let me see really quick. Just make sure. Whatever. That's fine, I guess. I'll just have to update it later, I guess. I'm not sure how that works exactly. Okay. Well, let's go back to here. So, since the last time, I've done a little bit more practice on my own, a little bit more research. I was able to complete a hard. It wasn't entirely on my own. I used the internet. I would say maybe like 5% of the time in order to get subtle things here and there. But I am very happy that I actually completed a hard. I haven't really completed a hard before, so that makes me happy. But you'll see that my mediums are a lot higher than before. I've been doing a lot of practicing so that I know a little bit more of what's going on. And then I completed a few more easies. But I also found this nice website. I actually never saw it before. It's called Hello Interview. And so all I did was I clicked add interview, and you can actually enter the company that you're interviewing for, and it'll have certain things like a system design, coding, behavioral, in order for you to basically like a checklist pretty much. I've never seen that before, so that's new to me. Um but I've been just going through it a little bit. I did 2 pointer sliding window intervals and the greedy algorithms. I spent a decent chunk of time kind of uh, studying them and seeing uh, how they can be utilized. So my confidence in those four have gone up a little bit. I was in the middle. I'm in the middle of stack. So excuse me. So I did valid parentheses, and I also did decode string. This one was interesting. Well, let's see if I can do it again here. But what's also nice is that, so this is actually a LeetCode problem. So if you click on LeetCode.com, you can see it'll take you to that problem. And so you can actually do this on LeetCode, or you can do it in here. Doesn't matter which. Though I believe this one doesn't save whether or not you succeeded this. It'll only save when you are clicking mark as read. So it'll also ask you questions such as like, what's the time complexity of this solution? And if we look at it, there's only one loop, there's no recursion, and so it's O of n, and it'll tell you if you're correct or incorrect, which is also kind of nice. But basically, yeah, it'll actually show you in an explanation. Sometimes the solution is first. I like it when the explanation is first. It'll still give you the entire code snippet that you need in order for it to work, but you can actually like press the next button and it'll show you kind of what's going on over here, which is pretty cool. So you can read the explanation, or you can go to the solution and you can visualize what's going on here. And so that's very helpful for me, since I am decently visually a decent visual learner, but I'm also a hands-on learner, so I'm a bit of both. And so it kind of just shows you the process and how it works. Otherwise, if you're stuck a little bit here and there, you can just look at that specific section and you're like, okay, that's what I missed, right? So you can do something along those lines. But let's try to, so our goal essentially is to convert this into this. So where it says 3A to C, it'll become 3 of all of this repeated, and the C, there's 2 of C, if that makes any sense. So this is practicing your stack skills. And so what we need is, and we know that can be completed in O of n times, so let's add our loop in here. There's not as good of autocomplete as there is in LeetCode, which is why I usually stick with LeetCode. But then, so since we know it's stacks, we know we'll need a stack. We need to keep track of the number, and we need to keep track of the pattern, right? So that's, we need to keep track of the number. String pattern stack. Okay, let's actually click full screen here and we can see more information. I'm not sure where more tests are, so I'm just going to type return null and hit run, and this should fail, obviously, but now we should be able to see more tests. And as you can see, there can be multiple letters inside of this, so that it would be two XYs. So it would be XYXY. But it would technically be ZXYXY, 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 because you are tripling everything in here. So we need to make sure that we're doing that properly. So we need to track for certain things. And we also know that the input string is well formatted without any extra spaces, and square brackets are properly matched. So basically, it's a valid string. We don't need to do any checks or anything like that. And so we know that it's through square brackets, right? So we need to check. There's multiple things we need to check. First, we need to check, is it a number that's being typed out? Is it an opening bracket or is it a closing bracket? So those are the 3 things we need to check. So if, let's actually store or cache the character at I. So if C, or if character dot is digit C, otherwise if C is equal to opening square bracket. Otherwise, if C is equal to closing square bracket, and then something for if something else is going on, basically. So, since we know that it can be multiple letters, we need to make sure that we keep track of the patterns. And then not only that, but I believe, multiple digits as well. So we need to keep track of the digits. So if the character is a digit, then we're going to want to multiply the number by 10, and then we're going to want to add the current character to the number. So basically, what this will do is it'll make it so, like, say the number is 1, well, it'll multiply it by 10, which makes it 10, and say the next number is 2, we just basically add 2 to the end, so now it's 12. And so now if it's 12, we multiply it by 10, which is 120, which we add the next number, say it's 3, that means that it's now 1, 2, 3. And so you can see how we can actually break up the string into a integer in this way. We're going to assume for now that the integer, since I've done this on LeetCode, I'm having an easier time with it right now. But we're checking if the number, or we're checking if it's a number, then we multiply it by 10, then we add the actual current number if it's a digit. If it's not a square brace and it's not a digit, then we know it's a letter because it's a valid argument. It says that it's well formed. So we don't need to check for issues there. So basically, all we need to do is say pattern plus equals C, which is great. Makes it way easier for us. Now comes the hard part, what to do when we encounter our square braces. So let's do the opening square brace first. What we're going to want to do is we're going to want to push our current number to our stack and then push our current pattern to the stack. And then we're going to want to say number equals 0 to reset it and pattern equals blank to reset it. Okay, so now we have our number that is before the square brace and the letter as well. So that works good. And now we need to check we need to know what happens when we close the brace. So first, well, more than just first, we're just going to set pattern equal to the patterns.pop. So we're going to get the top item of the pattern that we pushed, and then add it to the current pattern. Yes, I believe that's what that is. Actually, that should work. If we return pattern, this should run. No, it doesn't. Expected 10 A's and got 1 A. Oh, right. So we also need to say dot repeat, and then we say numbers dot pop. So basically, we're taking what was previously there, and then we are repeating the current pattern numbers amount of times that we pushed here. Thank you, Star-Lord. Let's go ahead and run it. There we go. Oh, that played a weird jingle in my ears. I'm not used to that. And so all these succeeded. So this is kind of what I've been doing. I've been practicing on the Hello Interview. So again, if you're curious as to where I got this, it's Hello Interview. It is completely free. You can get a premium version. Honestly, the pricing from what I saw isn't that bad. Like 1 year of access right now is $55. And there is a lifetime access, which I have never seen in about 10 years. I do not see lifetime access often. I usually see a bunch of the subscriptions, and I get so sick of those. But $200 for lifetime. And LeetCode was, I think, $180 for a year. So, like, just spending $20 more would get you lifetime access. So, I don't know. Just a thought if you were curious on that. But yeah, I thought I would show what I found. And my answer is pretty similar to what they have here. But even though my answer was a lot like what they have here, hopefully you guys were able to understand what I was explaining. The fact that I'm able to explain it means that I am learning it, which is nice. And so I'm going to mark this as red. And so what I can do is I can click on next, and they got a comment section. That's so helpful, just nice. Can you please put DSA practice link here? What do you mean by DSA? Hello. Are you talking about the platform I'm using? The Hello interview? Yes, what's the request? Oh, this is a hard level question. Oh boy, that's fun. Longest valid parentheses. Interesting. Yeah, see, I could just skip all the way down to this solution and see it there if I wanted to, or I can try it in here, or I can click LeetCode and it would take me straight to it. You're beginning in code. Well, welcome to coding. It is a grind. So Star-Lord, I'll put the platforms I'm using in the description of the YouTube video when I'm done streaming. I won't do that right this moment. I think I can send a message. Hey, it worked. Oh, it wants me to log in. Oh, hold up. Hold up a moment here. What did I use to log in again? I forgot. Oh, brother, I totally forgot what I used to log in. Is it this? Okay. Logged back in. Gotta use stack to solve the longest balance parentheses. I solved it a year ago. There we go. Hey, I can send it. Teach me how to use VS Code. On this stream, I'm just sticking with LeetCode and learning data structures and algorithms. So I'm not going to delve into VS Code in these streams. Sorry. It does not compile. I'm not sure why that is, but yeah. I already clicked that. So longest valid parentheses. Given a string containing just the characters opening and closing parentheses, return the length of the longest valid well-formed parentheses substring. Interesting. What are the topics? Dynamic programming. Joy. Companies, Meta, Amazon, Microsoft, Nike, Google, Sprinkler. Interesting, I haven't heard of Sprinkler. I always find it funny when people start to complain about the difficulty. I'm like, yeah, it's in hard, bro. Wondering whether I want to continue with this question since I want to just kind of stick with mediums for now. I'm also not too familiar with dynamic programming. As you can tell, I have not reached there yet. But yeah, because here's the valid, and here's the valid. I know I use a stack in order to detect what's valid, but I'm not sure how. So I think I'm going to skip this one for now. In fact, you can look at the solution down here and it'll walk you through the whole thing, which is really nice, to be honest. Just like that. But yeah, so anyway, I thought I'd show you guys that. Let's go back into problems, see what we can do. We'll go with meta. And actually, I think we can just click the meta tag here. Yeah, perfect. Sort by frequency. Sort by frequency from high to low. Perfect. And I think that will show me what is the most commonly used in meta. So you can see I have 31 solved already, which is nice. I'm not going to worry too much about difficulty unless if it's hard. So let's go ahead and do easy and medium. The topics, we'll leave that alone for now. All right, let's jump into valid word abbreviation. I'll close out of these. A string can be abbreviated by replacing any number of non-adjacent, non-empty strings with their lengths. The lengths should not have leading zeros. Oh, looks like I tried to start this one, but stopped. I'll just delete for now. For example, the lengths should not have leading zeros. For example, such a string such as substitution could be abbreviated as, but not limited to, S10N. So it would skip 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it would skip a whole 10. Then sub for U4 or 12 or SUBST I1 U2 ON or substitution. The following are not valid abbreviations, S55N, because because this would technically be 10, but it's saying it's 55. And then S010 has a leading 0. Do we say it fails? Or do we say it's just a 0? I'm confused about that. What do you mean by a DSA sheet? DSA sheet. It's a curated list of document of data structures and algorithms problems often used by software developers. Okay, data. Pick a data structures and algorithms sheet. I mean, in technicality, this is a DSA sheet, but essentially, I'm just We're specifically doing meta right now. So that's just kind of what we're doing. And it says there's been 75 times that this has been used in interviews in the past 3 months. So they give us a path to learn in a better manner rather than solving random questions. Yeah, okay, so kind of like the hello interview, the dashboard here, where you select the interview and then it says this. LeetCode blind 75, LeetCode blind 75. Blind 75 is a popular list of algorithm practice problems. So, oh, interesting. Where does this go to? Oh, it goes to LeetCode. Interesting. Do all these go to LeetCode? No, some. Oh no, it's LeetCode. Okay. Well, what does blind 75 do? Oh no, you're good. You're good. What about VS Code, Andre? Like, oh, LeetCode. No, this is LeetCode. Ah. Okay, I'm like, they don't have C# on here? It's basically given an integer array nums, return true if a value appears more than once in an array, otherwise return false. Is it in order or not in order? I'm not interested in the. I want I want to know if it's in order or not in order. We could just do arrays dot sort nums and then do it in order. Otherwise, we can do a map of integer, or not even a map, just a set of integers, and then oops is equal to new hash set integer. Most popular 75 interview questions. Interesting. Okay. I'll do a couple for now. This one seems relatively easy, considering it's in the easy category. It's like a breath of fresh air to me after learning all that complicated stuff. But we have a set of integers. So for int I equals 0, I is less than nums dot length, I plus plus, and then we can say if dupes.contains nums of I, we just return false. Otherwise, dupes.add nums of I, return true. I mean, pretty much that. Oh, please log in to run code. I'm going to copy this in case it can continue meta sheet. Okay, let me just finish this, I guess, first. I'm going to drag it over here to log in so that you guys can't see. No offense, but I don't trust the internet. Is set size not equal to array size, return false? That's also true. You can do that. That is really simple for JavaScript. I don't know. I just did the first thing that popped in my head. Okay. Let's go ahead. Move this back. Okay, let's give it a run. And I'm wrong. Your output false. True. That's because I think. Yeah. No, your suggestion is way better. So we'll just do that. Dupes.add nums of I. And then return dupes.size equals nums.length. Run it. That should... What? Output is false. Wait. Has duplicate. Okay, I think I just have it flipped. Yeah, I do. Okay. I confused myself a second there. Let's submit. Accepted! Yay! Passed 21 of 21. Man, if only I passed my tests that well in high school. Okay, like, this is a really easy question. Like, yeah, it's a really simple question. People ask that on interviews? People ask that on interviews. I'm set for life. Man, that's the only question I have to worry about. All right, I will go back to here. All right, let's go ahead, break down the abbreviations. So this is just returning a Boolean, and what were the topics again? 2 pointers, right? That's pretty easy. Should have start equals 0. Thank you. Thank you for the good game. And end is equal to 0, and I believe it's just while end is less than word.length. Right? Oh, interesting. Okay. Yeah, it does get tougher one by one. I don't doubt that. Trust me, I don't doubt that. Oh. All right, the word internationalization can be abbreviated. Oh, okay. So I don't even know what I was thinking there. Gotcha. So we'll do int I and int j instead of start and end so that it's not as confusing. Then while I is less than word.length and j is less than abbreviation.length. Something like that should be fine. Then, so let me try to speak what I'm trying to do here first. So what I believe is 2 pointers, having 1 pointer be on word and 1 pointer be on abbreviation. And we compare the letters of each, and then if a number pops up, we read the whole number and then skip that much on I, and then keep comparing, and then hit a number, and then skip that much on I, and then hit a letter, and just continue like that. Like, that is my brain power, what I'm thinking of right now. So let's go ahead and do this. If character is digit j. So if j is a digit, then what I want to do is store a number. And we'll say number times equals 10. Number plus equals... Oh, wait, j isn't the digit. Hold up. W... I'll just call it C. Character at... What am I doing? Word.character at I, and then T will be abbreviation.character at J. Perfect. Then check if D is a digit. Then we'll do D minus 0. And then we'll continue after we increase j by 1. Then, after this, if the number is greater than 0, so this means that it's no longer a digit, because it only consists of lowercase English letters and digits. If this is a digit, if it's no longer a digit, and there's a number that has accumulated, then we're going to say I plus equals the number. And then we're going to say number equals 0 and reset it. Okay, so now if I've graduated. It's been a long time since I took my data structures and algorithms course. It was a fun course, though. Don't get me wrong. I love that course. But that was one of my hardest courses, for sure. Then we're going to check if okay, so it gets the number, then we add to j. So now it's on a letter if it gets to here, which is good. Then we check if C does not equal D. Okay. Then we will return false. Then we finally hit the end. We say return if I is equal to word.length minus 1 and j is equal to abbreviation.length minus 1, just in case they both haven't reached the end. So we need to make sure that the... Something wrong there? Well, let's try to run it, I guess. I don't know why it's red. Not anymore. Time limit exceeded. Ah! That's why. I plus plus, J plus plus. Oh, that sucks, man. I'm sorry to hear that. I graduated in 2024, but I started in the workforce in 2018. So I have 7 years of experience. However, oh, hey, one succeeded. Only one. But, yeah, no, that's really unfortunate. I'm sorry about that. Alright, so now I have to figure out what went wrong. Let's go ahead. Just do a nice little debug of C D. Run it. Let's see what gets printed. I N. Okay, let's also see the number. Thought I did this correctly. Okay, does skip by 12. That's good. Equals 0. Where's it getting n from? Wait, what? Oh, here we go. This is the fun part. Debug. C D. Let's run it. See what happens. Oh, I see. Okay. Let's move C down here. That should resolve the problem. So the problem was that C is up here before we add number to I. And so it was getting the previous letter. Okay, it's still failing. Why are you still failing? System. Line C D. I-Z-N. Wait, what? Wait, what? I'm printing out two different things, right? Oh, yes, I am. Okay, we're good. I confused myself there for a second. I'm good at that. I mean, I don't want to say it's true, even though it is. Get rid of this, it'll be faster. Because if I run it, I doubt it's gonna be happy. Yeah. Oh, right, we gotta ignore leading zeros. I think that's all we need to do for that. Yes, it is. Okay. So let's use this test case now. So the word and the abbreviation, yeah, that just doesn't match. What we can do. No. Return that I is equal to nums.length, essentially. It's not nums, is it? It's word. So used to nums. Okay, let's run this. Okay. Let's give this a submit. Stop. It's just continues going up. I5. Output is false. Why is it false? Probably because of this final number. Okay. So the final number is most likely what's throwing us off. If I do plus equals number minus 1 and then add 1 here, would that change anything? No, it'd throw quite a lot off, wouldn't it? I sent LinkedIn connection. All right, talk to you later. Thanks for joining. Let's see here. I equals word dot length, which should technically be true. If this becomes 2, okay, not in the right thing. If this becomes 2, would it be correct? It would be correct. Interesting as well. Let's add that as a case then. Okay, so we've got a problem. That problem is this ending number. This ending number is sending I to the end. What we can do is we can say if I is equal to word.length and continue. I'm going to assume that'll work. No! I tried. I failed, but I tried. No. Okay. So it's when a number is at the end that we're failing. So how can we fix this? In fact, I think all we need to do is add one more one last bit here. Yes. So that it'll add it at the very end. So let's try that. The output's true. And I know exactly why that is. No! I know why this is true, too. Because it's only checking for these two. Okay, now we get to find out how to fix that. So, basically, when the word.length ends, I is equal to word.length. And it's not going to check for the next letter in the abbreviation. What we could do... I thought I did this before already, though. And J is equal to abbreviation.length. I thought we already did that. And it didn't work. Okay, guess it works now. Could we please get it to run? I know why this isn't working either. I need to make this so much cleaner. So if I is equal to word.length, let's just break it. Let's use this test case, run it, and now it should be happy. Now you should permanently be happy, but no, we're gonna fail one of the final ones now. Alright, let's go ahead and get rid of a test case so I can add this one. Why am I having such a hard time on an easy question? I've done so much to not have a hard time. Okay. A10, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Wait, what? So I plus equals number. Oh. You gotta be kidding me. Okay. Okay. Actually, this should be greater than or equal to. But this is gonna be wrong anyway. So the problem is like the whole problem of this whole time has been how we increment. Is there some better way I can increment? Because this is driving me crazy. First of all, this can just be J++ right here because we don't need it anywhere else after that. Because we don't use J anywhere else after that. Then I mean, should I just do I++ up here? Or should I... I mean, I could do I++ up here instead, and then we just do I minus minus inside of here if we want. Honestly, this might just work. No, it doesn't. It just breaks. Yeah. Why am I having a hard time with this basic question? This is not a difficult question. This should have been answered long ago. What am I doing wrong? Why is the acceptance rate so low for an easy question? Wait. Are people complaining about this? Is this easy category? Makes me feel depressed and believing that I'm a fool. Definitely medium. Wow. Okay. So there's a lot of people saying that. Shucks. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. What I can do is if this, otherwise I++. And then here we say character C. Then in here, you can say C is equal to word.character at I before I++. And this one will be after here. So word dot character at I. That should work. Okay. Run it. It screams at me still. No! I don't want you to scream at me. I want to scream at you. Okay. What's wrong? What's wrong, Bubba? Huh? In fact, I just do I++ in here. Just like I do up top. So, if the number's greater than 0, let's do system.out.println I j plus d, I guess. z 0, 1. So what's at 13 then? Well, hold up. I guess we'll add a debug point. Alright, debugging time. Nothing. Wait, what? It didn't trigger? Hold up, what? Okay, debug again. What? Okay. So is I interesting question mark. Okay, how about this? If number equals 0, I minus minus. Like, dude, what in the world is this abomination? This is not supposed to be that complicated. What am I doing? Should I just start over? I feel like I should just start over. What in the world? What? What? So we add 1. Congratulations. Now, it should remove 1. Now number is no longer 0, so it shouldn't subtract 1. Now, it should add 12 to I. So going from... I'm telling you guys, I'm confused. I don't know why this is throwing a hissy fit. I feel like all my logic is correct. Hence why I say feel like. I don't even think that, yeah, there's no editorial for this. That's probably why the acceptance rate is so low. There's no editorial for people to cheat with. I see how it is. No wonder this one's so popular with meta. That's funny. Okay. All right. I'm seriously confused as to what I'm doing wrong. So if it's a digit, then we create that number. If the number is greater than 0, if it's a digit, wait. Let's also add number is greater than 0. That's going to break a lot of things if I don't add that. Because then it's just going to ignore all zeros. Wait, what was case 8? It ignored that 0! No, I had it right. I just did. No! Okay. Undo. Keep that. Keep that. Keep that. I'm fine with keeping that as well. Okay, let's try. Let's try this. What is it? No, it left my mind. Number is greater than 0. Okay, 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 okay. Why, dude? You're killing me. It's just... Wait, how did I get that to work before? Oh, I don't need number equals 0 there either. All right, what'd I break? What'd I break? Output is true. Nah, man. Output ain't true. It ain't. It ain't true. Skips 2. I think I need it here. Let's try this again. So this is after. So C equals word.character at I. Then C equals word.character at I plus plus. Add it afterwards. And then remove it here. Bet. Still the wrong answer. Oh. Alright. I'm getting sick of this question. I'm getting real sick of getting wrong answer. Guys, I'm telling you. It's more an annoying, easy problem than a medium one. This is a pretty tedious one. I would agree with that. But I think I'm doing things correctly. It's just one sliver portion of this that is being angry. What's the portion that's angry? Why doesn't it like me? Why are you the only one that doesn't like me? Why? In fact, I can even remove that. I hope you guys are having fun watching me break down over this. This is odd. I'm not sure why this one specific case doesn't like me. Okay. Break this down. All right, let's rubber ducky this. So we create our 2 pointers. Okay. One's pointing at the word and one's pointing at the abbreviation. Then we have our number that builds up if there is a number to skip. So that because it can be double digits, like in case number 1, right? So now we continue until either the word or the abbreviation runs out. Both of these need to be less than the pointer that's pointing at them. Then we get the character at J, and then we add 1 to J. And we store it. And then we check if the abbreviation is a digit. So for example, if it's at 1 here, that's a digit. It's also not greater than 0. The current number being stored up is not greater than 0, so we have to check if it's a leading 0. It's not a leading 0. It is 12. So, therefore, we multiply what exists by 10, which since it's 0, it'll be 0. Then we add the character and subtract 0 from it so that it becomes an integer 0 rather than a character 0. Because character 0 does not equal integer 0. Character 0 is something like what? 48, 49? I don't remember. 57? I don't know. One of those. And so we need to subtract that integer value. So now we have 1 here, as is stated here. Then we continue and check back on the loop. Then we get the next character from abbreviation. We increment it, and we check if it's a digit. Oh, look, it is. And not only that, our number is greater than 0, so we don't need to check if it's a leading 0 anymore. So we multiply it by 10. So now 1 becomes 10. Then we add the value. So 10 becomes 12. See how that works. Now we just continue. Finally, do we want to continue? Yeah, we want to continue. Do we want to continue? Yeah, we want to continue. Okay, so that works perfectly fine. No issues there. I'm very happy with how that's turned out. Then we get the next character. All right, so let's start with our first character, I. All right, now it increments by 1, but that doesn't matter for the rest of it. There's no number here because it's the first letter. So therefore, we're just getting the character at I for word. And so since we got that character, we can check if they're not equal, then this is not a proper abbreviation. Then we loop through. Since it is digits for the next 2, this pointer moves forward while this pointer stays at I. Oh, no, actually, we increment it here. Guys, I'm telling you, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to. Ooh. So we increment I, so now it's on N. While this one is on this I here. However, since 12 was processed and now it's no longer a digit, our number is greater than 0. In fact, it's so big, it's 12. So we add 12 to I. So 12 at N would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I think. Well, if I just subtract 1 from number. Okay, that throws a fit. Nope. Yeah. Character D minus equals abbreviation character at. Wait, where does it say that? I don't have minus equals there. I don't know if it's showing up weird on the stream. I don't know. I'm just walking through this step by step so that I know I'm not going crazy. But wow, am I going crazy? All right, let's work through this case then, because this is the one that's wrong. So we got a number. Number passed is 2. So we add 2 to I. That makes it become 2, which is outside of... Interesting. Oh, interesting. What about... doing this? I don't think this changes anything, but let's try it anyway. It does change things! Why? Because we don't add it because it breaks here. No! Oh, it's because I had the word break instead of continue, isn't it? Wait, no, it would do the same thing. No! If that was the whole issue, I'm gonna cry. It works! I had the increment in the wrong place. No! Okay, to be fair, I did also need this number is greater than 0, but it works! Yay! And they got 95%. What was that? I guess my screaming knocked over something. Thanks. No, line number 10 is wrong. It silently skips leading zeros instead of rejecting them. I mean, yeah, actually, if we wanted to, we could just straight up reject it. You are right. Because I'm pretty sure it only wants us to check. Yeah, so if it has a leading 0, then it's not valid. So yeah, you are correct. It would save a little bit of time, but not a whole lot. But yeah, you're correct. We could just reject the leading 0. I'm curious as to what other people put for it. Now, this one truly shows my brain power, like my epicness, because there's no editorial for it. I mean, I could have just gone to solutions, I guess. I didn't want to do that. Let's see what these people do. It's formatted so differently from how I format it, so it's difficult to read at first. But I see they handle digits the same way I do. They don't use continue, though. They just say else. Nice. Yeah. No, they handled it similarly to me, but I think mine's better, objectively, because, yeah. I wonder if it's closer to... Dude, this was just an easy question. This was easy. Well, some people are saying this should be medium because of how tedious and how many test cases there are that are rude to you. I wonder if I'm closer to the... Hey, now I'm in the best of the memory. But I'm wondering if I'm closer to the 0 millisecond or the 2 millisecond mark. I'm probably not going to find out because there's 324 test cases, but... Yay! Yeah, because sometimes the milliseconds will change based on how many test cases there are. The more test cases, the more stable your time is actually going to be, the more variable it's going to be. Oh, I'm so glad I figured that out. Oh, goodness gracious. I solved two questions. One was super easy, and one was a medium that says it's easy. Lowest common ancestor of a binary tree. Okay, so I'm okay at binary trees, but if we're going into a medium binary tree, I might cry. Oh, sounds like my wife's home. Let's just go ahead and read it really quick. Let's check the topics. Tree depth first search. Okay, that's depth first. Depth first search is fine. Wow, 43 times used in the last 3 months. It's a pretty frequent question. This question was asked in my Amazon interview. What? Okay. Given a binary tree, find the lowest common ancestor of the of two given nodes in the tree. According to the definition of lowest common ancestor on Wikipedia, it takes me straight to Wikipedia. The lowest common ancestor is defined between two nodes P and Q as the lowest node in T. What? What's T? Is T the tree? Then P and Q. So is defined between two nodes P and Q as the lowest node that has both P and Q as descendants. What in the world? Output is 3. The LCA of nodes 5 and 1 is 3. Okay, this is... What? Then 1 and 2. Between 1 and 2 is 1. Hold on. If 5 and 1 is 3, 1 and 2 is 1. There's no editorial for this one either. Wait, maybe there is? Yeah, there is. Okay, I was just blind. The LCA of nodes 5 and 4 is 5. Wait, hold up. A 5 and 4 is 5, since a node can be a descendant of itself according to the LCA definition. All right, we're clicking this. I don't care about history. What? All right, there's no way I'm going to be able to do this without help. Bruh. I know that it's not a whole line of code, a whole lot of lines of code, but I'm just not familiar with those terms at all. That's really confusing. There's a bunch of different solutions. Think it. Yikes. Okay, now, yeah, binary trees make me want to cry. Diameter of a binary tree. Oh boy, here we go. I think I actually started this one, so let's reset. So, given the root of a binary tree, return the length of the diameter of the tree. What? The diameter of a binary tree is the length of the longest path between any two nodes in the tree. This path may or may not pass through the root. The length of a path is between two nodes. The length of a path between two nodes is represented by the number of edges between them. Dude, what are these descriptions? So 3, the length of the path 4, 2, 1, 3, or 5, 2, 1, 3. So basically, what is it from the furthest nodes? Discussion. What? Oh, quote unquote easy. Exactly. How is this problem marked easy? Solutions I'm seeing involve two recursive functions, and this is just not quick or straightforward. Rather tricky. Don't think it is considered easy. Yeah. It's not easy, should be medium. Let's check, not solutions. I didn't want to click that. Are there any hints? There is not. So getting the furthest is fine. Let's create our own test case and do 1, 2, 3, null, 4, null, null, 5, 6, 7, null, 12. I don't know how these are laid out on. Okay, that should be good. Let's return 0 and see what the solution is for that final one. So this final one expects 8. So what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's huh? But that's not the diameter. I'm gonna have to look at the editorial for this because this is way too confusing. Interesting. For node 2, one of its left and right branches could also be part of the longest path in the tree. So basically, you're looking for the longest path. Am I right? That's all you're looking for? So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So that's 6. 1, 2, 3, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this one's longer, so it should be 7. For node 2, its left branch plus its right branch could be the longest path in the tree. For node 2, one of its left and right branches could also be part of the longest path in the tree. Okay, let's see. What? What? Recursively find the longest path in both left and right child. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Wait, what's the use of diameter? Oh, this is a new method. Right. I mean, that's kind of what I do. I would have int diameter is equal to 0, and then you return the diameter. Return diameter. Right? So down here, I would have my random knowledge. And we would have it so that if the node, we also want to pass in the diameter, I think. So the node is equal to if the node is null and we need to return something, then we check the longest of the left node and the longest of the right node. So that gets all nodes in the tree, passing diameter in. And diameter is somewhat influenced here. Something like plus, and return -1 or something if it's null. Then you return something like diameter. Like, I don't know. I'm just kind of talking out of my butt here. But, like, it doesn't say diameter. I don't know. Something like this. Up here you could say private int diameter equals 0, and you can return the diameter, and you put in something like this, and not node, it would be root. I don't know, like, this is the kind of nonsense we're talking about here. 2, 0, 2. I got the wrong answers. But, yeah, I mean, like, I know I got decently close to it. Diameter equals 0. Yeah, I got this right. I got this right. I got this right. This is something else entirely. So it's saying int left is equal to the longest for node.left. Int right is equal to the longest of the node.right. Then you just say diameter is equal to the maximum between the diameter and the left plus the right half plus 2, because everybody knows what 2 is used for here. It's just like, yeah, let's just talk a bunch of gibberish about what's going on here and assume you know what you're talking about. And wow, you know it now. Math.max between left and right plus 1. Guys, it worked. I did it all on my own. See, I don't have a problem with using the editorial. I don't have a problem with other people using the editorial. That's what the editorial's there for. It's there to exist and to help you out. But the problem is, when it is so confusing to read, why would I want to try it out? So, all right, let's try. Let's try to read the editorial. Okay? Intuition. Within this article, we will refer to a leaf node as any node that has 1 degree. Before the first comma, oh no, there's 1 comma at the beginning. Before the second comma, there's already jargon I don't understand. I believe 1 degree means that there's 1 node that has 1 degree. What does 1 degree mean? Why can't you have, like, clickable text? Okay, the key observation to make is the longest path has to be between 2 leaf nodes. Yes. Which means that the nodes have to be null. Okay? The children nodes have to be null. We can prove this with contradiction. I think I know what the +2 is for. So notice how left and right are, if their children are null, then we return -1. And so since there's 2 of them, and left and right could both equal -1, we use +2 to offset that. That would make sense. That would make sense. And then we're doing the maximum between left and right, and since either one of those would be -1, we then add 1 to that. Oh, I hear a crying baby. Okay. So, okay. That, at least the +2 and the +1 make sense now. Let's see if we can make sense of the rest. All right. We can prove this with contradiction. Imagine we have found the longest path and it is not between 2 leaf nodes. We can extend that path by 1 by adding the child node of one of the end nodes, as at least one must have a child given that they aren't both leaves. Okay, so basically diameter can be replaced with max, really. So we could rename this variable as maximum, right? I don't like using unique words in solutions like this, where it's just a code snippet. If this was actually something where I'm finding the diameter, yeah, sure, do diameter. But why not have distinct things that are standardized terms for problems that are this short? Why not just make it universal, like max, please? Or left and right instead of left path, right path. Therefore, the longest path must be between 2 leaf nodes. So that does make sense. We do need it to be between 2 leaf nodes. So basically, we're getting... what's left and right then? So if we go down this tree, I can't see the trees. So let's say we go down this, that's too simple. Let's say we go down this tree. We go down to the left 1. It's not null. And so we gotta go down to the left 1 more. Both of its children are null. So we have -1 here. Then we go to the right. These children are null, so we go back. So now we have 2 -1s. So the maximum is equal to 0 pretty much. And then we finally return the maximum between the left and the right +1, which is 0. What? Wait, what's the answer here? Output is 1? Okay. And so now we go down to 3, which is, there's no left or right, and so it becomes 0 as well, so it goes back to 1. So we have 2 zeros, And so we got 0, 0. This is so confusing. Wouldn't this be 2 then? Bro, wouldn't that be 2? Wouldn't that be 2? No. Moreover, okay, I'm just going to continue reading. Moreover, we know that in a tree, nodes are only connected with their parent node and 2 children. Therefore, we know that the longest path in the tree would consist of a node, its longest left branch, and its longest right branch. So our algorithm to solve this problem will find the node where the sum of the longest left and right branches is maximized. I understand that. That makes sense. Okay. So our algorithm to solve this problem, yeah, I already read that. This would hint at us to apply depths for, yes, I know. So if you're not familiar with it, feel free to visit our Explore cards. You have Explore cards? Wait, what? Oh, they have Explore cards! A tree is a frequently used data structure. No, it's not. To simulate a hierarchical tree structure. I do not often see trees. In fact, I don't often see binary trees amongst trees in actual programming, and I've been programming for 7 years. How is this frequently used? Bruh. Each node of the tree will have a root value and a list of references to other nodes, which are called child nodes. From GraphView, a tree can also be defined as a directed. Okay, yeah. I know what a tree is. There's so many unlocks to do. Man, what's this explore thing I've been missing? Oh no, I do know it. I have 1% in some of them. And 35% in arrays. Wow, I'm doing great. Maybe I'll have to look into that. It's gracious, there's so much to learn. My brain! Okay, let's continue here. Let's try to be more specific about how to apply DFS to this question. To count the lengths of each node's left and right branches, we can implement a recursion function, longest path, which takes a tree node as input and returns the longest path from it to the leaf node. It will recursively visit children nodes and retrieve the longest paths from them to the leaf first, and then add 1 to the longer one before returning it as the longest path. This is brutal. Yeah, I know. People are like, easy! Oh! What's easy about this? I need the editorial. Alright. You will see we're going to address them by applying DFS to recursively find the longest branches. Initialize a global variable to keep track of the longest path, returning the length of the longest branch between a node's left and right branches. Algorithm. Initialize an integer variable, diameter, to keep track of the longest path we find. Yeah, that's fine. Implement a recursive function, which takes a tree node as input. It should recursively explore the entire tree. Once it's finished, yeah, that's fine. It's not explaining. Guys, I'm gonna cry. It's not explaining it. Worst solution ever. Worse than 100% of submissions in both time and memory. Why is it why are you using a big integer? No, that's so bad. N to the fourth. We love N to the fourth. We love it. We love it. Actually, does it say here? Why? Once you start writing this in an interview, you are no longer in danger. You are the danger. This is horrible. Why would you do this to get a solution? I'm actually curious. I'm going to copy this and I'm going to run it and see how slow it is because I am genuinely curious about that. Oh, it's so ugly. I love it. I think I have to import things. Yeah. Yeah, it took 2 milliseconds. Let's submit it and see what happens. 97? Oh, come on. It's not worse than 100%. Get out of here. Get out of here. Yeah, that's right. I'm calling your bluff. Your bluff has been called. I don't know. This leaves me with a bitter taste in my mouth. I know how to do it in the future now, but this... I don't know. I don't like copying the editorial. I want to... Like, again, I don't mind looking at it. I just want to know what's going on. I don't want to be told what to do. Oh, hey, a video. Beats 100%. Yeah. I know, I don't understand why they're doing -1. Why can't they just do 0? Like, should be able to just do 0 and then this. Yeah, see? Yeah, I didn't understand why they were doing it like that, but whatever. In fact, isn't this supposed to not exist then, too? Nope, guess it is. Please upvote. Did it get upvoted? How much did it get upvoted? I'm curious. 1 upvote. That's so funny. Approach. Define recursive height. This isn't telling me anything. I want to have my own solution to it. This is so frustrating. It's so frustrating. So frustrating. Let's try to understand this from our really big problem we have here. Let's try, okay? So we're starting down here. Okay, it's null, so we return 0. This is also null, so we return... No. Yeah, it makes so much more sense when it's not the -1 plus 2 and plus 2. I'm just... I guess I'm just ranting today. I'm sorry. No, like that editorial just made me angry for no reason. So let's try and break this down. In fact, shouldn't I just be able to... No, I don't think I can just do return. We'll find out. Okay, okay. I didn't think so. What if I did this? Ah! It's just 0. What if I just return 1? What you gonna do then? Huh? No. Okay. I'm breaking things. That's how people learn. Okay, so let's go through this really quick. So this is 0, this is 0. All right. Or no, there's no children, so they return 0 to this. Okay, so left and right are 0. Left plus right is 0, so the maximum is not affected, but we return 1. Okay, cool. So 6 returns 1 to 13. That means 7 will also return 1 to 13. So we have left and right. And so the maximum is then 1 plus 1, which is 2. And so now we got the maximum between left and right, which is 1. Then plus 1 is 2. So 13 now returns 2 to 12. Okay, so 13 returns 2 to 12. Then with 8, we know this is going to have 0, 0, and then we add 1. So 8 returns 1 to 14. So 14 then has 0 for left and 1 for right. So 0 and 1 is not greater than the max, so the max remains at 2. Then the maximum between left and right is 1. So 1 plus 1 is 2. So 14 also returns 2 to 12. And so now we've got 2 getting left and right, which is 2 plus 2, which is 4. And so now 4 is greater than the max. So now the max is 4. Okay. It's starting to piece together now. It was a lot more confusing when it was -1 and then adding 2 to the max. Like, that didn't... Maybe I'm just crazy. But then we have 4. So the max of left and right, so it's 2. Then we add 1. So 2 plus 1 is now 3. So 3 is returned to 2. And we know that because 2 doesn't have a right branch. It only has a left branch. So this goes down, and so now the furthest it reaches can only be 3. Okay, that makes sense. So now 3 is returned to, is it 3? 12 is 2 plus 1, which is 3. And so the left node is 3, the right node is 0. And so we got 3 plus 1, which is 4. So 4 is returned to 1. Then we've got... Okay, so we've got 1 now, which has 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, if I remember correctly. Okay, and then it adds the right side. I'm not going to go through the entire right side. That makes sense. Now, let's recreate it. Make sure that we know it. So, and fact, I'm going to try to do it within this singular function. I don't know if it'll work or not, but we'll try. If root is null, then we return 0. Then we have int left is equal to the diameter of binary tree root.left. Int right is equal to the diameter of the binary tree root.right, so that we get all the sum of the branches coming up from the left and the right. And then we need to set the maximum equal to the math max between the maximum itself, or we can do the simpler version and just say if left plus right is greater than maximum. Stop doing that, please. Stop auto filling that. It drives me crazy. This is the simple way. But for the return, I am going to do math.max of left and the right plus 1. Wait, I'm curious. Yeah, I do think this will fail. Yeah, this will mainly fail because we need to return the maximum. Uh-oh. Did I lose internet? No, I didn't. Okay, we're good. What did I do wrong? I don't want that on there. What is wrong with my chat today? Like, why is my chat having such a hard time today? I don't get it. Whatever. But yeah, we're going to need to make another method because we need to return the maximum. I'll just call it length. I honestly don't care. And then let's go ahead and pass that into there. We just say length of the root and return the maximum. Run. That failed. Why? Oh. Whoops. Change these. There we go. Submit them. And it looks like we're good. Alright. I kind of understand that now, but I really don't want to have to do that for every binary tree problem. It would not be fun. But that clears another easy out of the meta list. We got a ton of mediums. I did filter out the hards. Yeah, there's still not that many hards. But I think I'm gonna leave it there for today. Yeah, I've been going for an hour 53 minutes. Wow. But yeah, if you enjoyed, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next stream. You can feel free to watch this on YouTube too. If you want to like or subscribe, feel free to do that as well.